Welcome to diplomacyindia.com. I am VN Jha and you are watching our special program, The European Question. Last Friday, Britain voted in a referendum and it voted for whether to be or not to be inside European Union, which is euphemistically has been called BREXIT, that is Britain's exit from EU. The repercussions were so high that the world over stock markets collapsed, pound sterling plummeted, and it was a huge chaos for the European economies and the other economies world over. Soon the political fallout also followed. Prime Minister David Cameron resigned, and people who overwhelmingly voted for going out of European Union, they were led by their leaders, their cheerleaders, and they celebrated their Independence Day. It was a curious situation insofar as that it appeared that Europe was on the verge of collapse. It has wider political, social and economic ramifications. Today, we have our special guest in this program, Professor Salma Bava, who teaches at prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University in the Center for West European Studies, and who is an acclaimed celebrated scholar on West Europe. So welcome Professor Bava to our program. The first thing our viewers would like to know from you, that what were the regions, what were the regions which were responsible for such a massive crack in the, you can say, the European project, in the Brexit? What were the regions?
There were lots of reasons for the exit of Great Britain from the European Union. There were political, economic and social factors which came together and created a very volatile political cocktail. As a result, last year when Cameron went for the election round, he promised the people that there will be a referendum and the people of Great Britain will decide whether to stay or to leave. In the last some years, economic issues have been pushed to the forefront. But this was a lack of reality check, let me tell you, because the facts were not really put forward to the people. Immigration was presented as a major issue, and most people don't realize that Great Britain has been a land of immigrants, and it is immigrants who have also transformed and contributed to the wealth and prosperity of the United Kingdom. But more recently, this feeling has been used by Great Britain's politics continuously, because we find that Britain had opt-out conditions which had included. For example, it was not part of the currency union, the euro, and second, it was also not part of the common visa or the Schengen area. So a little standaloofness was always maintained by Britain, and in the last 2 years, in the backdrop of the war in Syria, with the influx of more refugees coming in, you find that politics was able to play on this. We started seeing it from the referendum in Scotland, which was put forward by the UK Independent Party. And in a very short space of time, this party was able to establish itself and also play on the sentiments of the people and push that Britain would be much better off, if it was outside of the European Union.
So, Professor, sorry to interject you. Experts are saying that basically it is not an economic question, as it has been put by the campaigners. It is basically playing on the anxiety of immigrants and xenophobia. So, as you rightly said right now. Now, it has also led to the very serious generational, class and age divide, and the professional divide inside, political divide also inside the United Kingdom for the first time. So what would you say about that?
Very rightly so. If you see the figures which have come in after the polling has taken place, you find that there is a clear generational divide. The youngsters are polled in favor of staying in the European Union. In fact, they call it, it's not an Independence Day, it's a Black Day. The stock market, of course, called it the Black Friday. Millions of worth of, whether it's euro, pound or rupees have been wiped out on Friday morning as the result came. The older people who will actually, if you look at lifespan, will be living the shortest are the ones who voted in large numbers. So somewhere this whole issue has played across the voters in very different ways. The youngsters see hope They see that there is market mobility, there's education mobility, there are social mobilities. All of that has now become a big question mark. And the senior citizens who want to, just say what is there, who actually will not be, in a way, contributing to the economy, because most of them will be pensioners, are the ones who have voted on fear. So, in some ways, fear has overcome hope in this election.
Okay, ma'am. So now it brings me to another question. As you said that the playing on the fear as far as Brexit is concerned. So now the the process of withdrawal has started. They are saying that but the withdrawal symptoms are also there within 48 hours or 72 hours. They are there. So Britain will exit. The political map of Europe will remain unaltered. It is not going to be altered. But what happens to the European values like human rights, currency, the democracy, which inform the concept of Europe itself? What happens to that?
See, Britain's exit is going to be not an easy process. It will happen under Article 50 of the Treaty of Lisbon. And it's a 2-year process, but already the first sounds have come from Europe. In fact, the European leaders have said, don't have to attend any meetings, please don't be present, you can leave not tomorrow, you can leave today itself. The youngsters have put a petition, 3 million people have already signed, they want to stay, have a second referendum. Scotland wants to stay on and say that we will try to now join the European Union. So it is not going to be such a simple process. As far as the European project is concerned, the project which was launched post-45 was a project which was aimed to overcome war in Europe. It was to bring former enemies together. It endorsed, as you correctly said, values of human rights. More importantly, it was about creating a common future in which there will be no more war. The focus is on the people, on economic stability and prosperity for all. So here was something unprecedented because it was going beyond the borders of a state. It was to go beyond nation. Whereas if you look at it, at that same point in time in 1945, the rest of the world was actually embracing borders. So Europe has realized that borders means nationalism, it will only destroy. And it is very fascinating that when they were moving to launch the European Coal and Steel Community in 1952, India actually had just adopted the constitution in 1950 and we were actually going to strengthen our borders. So it's a fascinating, different journey and trajectory of political values as they are played out in Europe and the rest of the world. It's not that these values will go off, but the question is how does Europe re-embrace? Because nationalism, even if we don't, accept it, nationalism is back in Europe.
Okay, so we were talking about immigrants. Now, as you said, that Britain has been a community or nation of immigrants. There have been Polish immigrants, there have been Romanian immigrants, in a good number, in million, I think. Now, how the recent waves of migration from theaters of war in Syria or other conflict zones in the world, in Arab or Africa, how they have precipitated this European crisis?
Okay, yes, Europe has always had, people coming in, and one should make a difference between the word migrants and refugees. Migrants are people who come in for economic, and refugees are one who are coming in from areas of conflict. So, because of the common market, and more recently because Bulgaria and Romania were being part of the European Union, where the people could move, more of these people were going to Britain. But in the last 1 year, you had refugees coming from war-torn areas, and the EU decided to redistribute this population, which was not taken very kindly by some of the European member states. For example, Poland said that please give us security guarantees. So you find that in such a backdrop, it's easy to reinforce nationalism and play down the commonness of Europe. And this is what has happened in the recent elections.
Okay, so you are here now. We'll be back after a short while and we'll have a break.